The principle of revamping the Checkatrade Trophy has been excellent, I feel. I think the principle is outstanding. The games programme for our youth development players is excellent, right way through to 18. And then there's a void, if you like, where we need to try and get our young players some experience that bridges the gap between youth team football and senior football by introducing a slightly different concept for the Checkatrade Trophy that gives our young players, up to 6 or 7 senior games where they're playing in an open age competition against seasoned professionals and getting them to understand and experience the importance of winning against senior players. And ultimately that's what their careers are going to be judged on. If they can master that and they can win more games than they lose and as they step into senior teams, they'll be successful players. The results are not as important at youth division as they are at senior. Clearly at senior, you're playing for promotion or relegation or cup competitions. So to give the young players a different experience and an edge to the game is important. So we're putting them into an environment where if they don't do well, they get knocked out of the competition. If they do well, they progress. There's crowds, and it's there's something meaningful at the end of that particular game that's maybe slightly different from a league programme, and it gives them that experience of playing 90 minutes of football, which will determine what happens next. We all want our senior teams throughout the leagues stocked full of young, homegrown players that have come through the system. That's better for England. I think that's better for all of the clubs as well. The academies in the main have been very supportive. The majority of the clubs have taken up the opportunity to enter the Checkatrade Trophy. It's a pilot year, we all know that, and hopefully we'll be able to support it going forwards, and we'll be able to come up with a competition and a format that everybody feels is a worthwhile opportunity for the young players. Everyone will have a minimum of 3 games. Should they do well and they progress throughout the tournament, that could give them sort of 5 or 6 games to experience something a little bit different. In knockout competition with the Checkatrade Trophy and in open age, I'm hoping that when we sit down in April, May time, that the clubs and the players themselves see that as a real benefit. Over the next 2 or 3 years, that could then be 15 to 18 games, senior games, that will help bridge that gap between youth football and senior football. You've seen what happens when when cycling do well, when tennis does well, when the women's senior team did well. There's a real spike in interest in participation from grassroots right the way through to professional level. So I think having a healthy and successful England senior team can only be good for the game, not just for the professional clubs but also for grassroots as well.